Hey everybody, Luke here, and this is a topic I've been wanting to talk about a lot, or for a long time, because I hear it a lot in the clinic. And so the topic is about weight loss and its effect on pain. And today I'm going to talk about back pain, but you could probably make the same or basic assumptions pertaining to like knee pain and ankle pain and stuff like that. So let me give you the background first. So I'm talking to a guy on the phone who initially called me because he had some questions about balance and fall prevention and neuropathy in his legs and stuff like that. So as I'm talking to him, he's actually out. He's about to go out in his yard and work in his garden. So I'm just, kind of talking to him about gardening and stuff. He says, "Yeah, but I can't do much because I can only be on my feet for about 10 minutes or so because of my back pain." So up until this point, I didn't really know he had back pain. And so I said, "Oh, wow, okay, well, that's obviously something to consider. And, what are you doing about that?" And he says, "Well, my doctor said if I lose about 35 pounds, that should take care of, 90% of my back pain." Those are his words. So lose 35 pounds, 90% of his back pain will go away. So keep in mind that he's at a point now, like a lot of people, where he can only stand on his feet for about 10 minutes at a time. So obviously, in my mind, he's got some compressive issues with his back. And in his mind, at this point, in his doctor's mind, potentially, that if he just loses some weight, that's going to cure 90% of his issues. So again, the question of the day then is, if this guy loses the weight, is that going to really relieve his back pain? And I think the simplest answer to that question is absolutely not. There's no way, in my mind, of course, this is my opinion, is my video, so I get to say what I want. But in my mind, there's no way that losing 35 pounds, and I don't know how much he weighs. I think he said he weighs about 200. So he's not like he's 400 pounds or anything like that. But in my mind, losing 35 pounds is not going to relieve 90% of his pain. Will it have a positive impact on his pain? Potentially. And so the direction I want to go with today's video is a couple different things. So first off, the first question we need to ask ourselves then when you're looking to relieve back pain is the weight the underlying cause, the root cause of the back pain? That's the big question, right? So what he's been told is that yes, the weight is causing your back pain. If you get rid of the weight, or 35 pounds of it, 90% of your back pain is gone. I've never seen that happen. I think you'd be hard pressed to talk to anyone that you know or have ever talked to that has ever experienced that. So you say, well, what is the guy's root cause of his pain? And again, just kind of talking to him without looking at him and things like that, you say he's probably got some issues with like degenerative discs and degenerative joints. He probably has some flexibility and strength issues. We don't know that for sure. He's an older gentleman, so that tends to be the trend. He could have some disc issues or some other joint or SI joint pathology. But those are the underlying cause of his pain. Those are the things we really have to pay attention to. So there's specific ways you're going to treat the degenerative types of back pain. And he may not even get 90% relief with that either. I mean, 90% relief is probably a little bit unrealistic, to be quite honest. But again, you have to determine what's really causing his pain. The weight loss could be a good part of his program. It could have some positive effects on his back pain, and obviously it makes sense that if he's got compressive type pain or degenerative type pain, that taking some pressure off of his spine is going to help. But again, having that weight be kind of keyed in and focused on as the true cause of his back pain, to me, is just inaccurate. So that's the simple answer to the question of, will losing weight relieve your back pain, at least to that extent that this gentleman is looking for and at this point expecting. So I'll follow up with him in probably 2 weeks or a month and just see how he's doing. The other thing to keep in mind is that losing weight for most people isn't all that easy, and it depends on how you lose weight. So that's the second part of today's question, for me at least, is that it really depends on how you lose the weight. So if you're doing the standard dieting type thing to losing weight, where you're counting calories, you're eating the same things you've already eaten, you've always eaten, you're just eating less of it. It's not an easy thing to do. It's stressful. Very unlikely that it's going to have a positive influence on your back pain. But there's a big but here. If this guy loses weight the right way, in my opinion, again, it's my video, so I say what I want, but in my opinion, if he loses weight the right way by cutting out some of these foods that are inflammatory to begin with. So if you've heard me rant and rave about diet and weight loss and all these things, it's more to me about inflammation. And so the way I think people should lose weight is by cutting down on a lot of these simple carbs and grains and sugars and things like that, and replacing them with healthier options, more nutritious options like vegetables, meats, good fats, things like that. If that allows him to lose weight, and at the same time he's lowering his level of inflammation, he very well might have a positive impact on that back pain, as well as pain in his hands and his feet and his knees if he has some of that too. He also originally called me for neuropathy, may have a positive effect on his neuropathy. It's hard to tell until he actually does it. So that's the second part of the question. The first part is no, losing the weight will not give him that level of relief, if any, but depending on how he loses weight, if he can do it the right way, in my opinion, he may have some very positive results just from lowering his level of inflammation. The weight loss will be a bonus. The actual structural compression of his spine because of the weight, to me, isn't nearly as big of an issue as the overall level of inflammation associated with eating the wrong food. So that's my two-pronged answer for the question. If you're struggling with back pain and you think losing weight is going to be the answer, and you're just going to go on a diet the way most folks do, I don't think you're going to have much success with that. Doesn't mean it's not worth pursuing and losing weight. And certainly if you're developing some other healthy habits, like you're exercising more, that may actually help with your back pain too, so keep that in mind. But again, look for the root cause when you're looking at dealing with back pain or neck pain or knee pain or anything like that, and then be realistic in terms of what you can expect when you set out. So that's my information for today. Hope you like it, and if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Thanks for watching.